All right, you're talking to Jim Cramer and more importantly, Farnoosh Torabi, and the book is You're So Money, which had a very big spike in Amazon as you started out, and you've been on a bunch of TV shows. Now, as someone who's written a bunch of books, I found that my view of my own book was changed and colored by all the different interviews. And I always find that the book tour is a fascinating subject to people. So You're So Money is a kind of book where I'm hoping that they read it, but often they haven't.
Right.
What are people asking you about over and over again, and what do you wish if they watched this video they would ask you about?
Well, the first question is how, Farnoosh, can we live a so money life, especially considering the economy and food prices going up, and we're, job market is volatile, and so they don't really want to know so much about the mathematics or the finances or the little nitty-gritty compound interest stuff. They want to know about the macro ideas in the book, which I find is great because then you get people to be interested. When you start to introduce concepts about lifestyle and travel and pursuing your goals and your dreams, and then you start talking about money, that's a great way to engage people. Because if you just start off talking about compound interest and IRAs and 401ks, you might lose people.
Right.
And so I was actually happy that a lot of the media caught on to that first. It's about the attitude of the book, after all. Another thing is that it's a very liberal book, and I did a bunch of radio interviews. Liberal in the sense that it's very, it's sort of like you putting yourself first. A lot of the tips in the book is about kind of being a snob about your money. It's after all, when you're a young adult, it's the me generation, right?
Okay, I got it.
So liberal in that sense.
Right.
And so when I was on this radio show, for example, in the South, in Kentucky, the producer was like, Farnoosh, you might want to tone down your enthusiasm a little bit. The audience is very conservative. And so knowing that, I went on the show and talked more about, he was very interested in my background, where you're from, Farnoosh, what is the name. So I explained my parents and coming from here from the Middle East, wanting to pursue the American dream, and he loved that so much. And it's interesting, I find that no matter where you're from, what age group you are, this is for young adults, people are latching onto the enthusiasm in the book and the license that it's giving people to dream and to hope.
Well, I talked about the book a bunch of times in the last few weeks when I was in Paris, and talked about the notion with friends about how you could do Paris two ways. You could do it the Farnoosh way, or you could do it the way, you could say arguably the fancy way I did it. Also was with some people who were trying to get apartments in New York. What I liked about it was that outwardly, you're doing exactly what I'm doing. Inwardly, we know the truth, which is you're saving money. And I would hope that the people who ask you about it as you continue your tour would recognize that you can appear to be wealthier than you are, and whether that's good or not, it's the truth.
And the definition of wealth came up a lot over the course of the interviews last week. The idea of what does it mean to live rich, and I said that's whatever you want it to be. It's not what your neighbor's doing or what the media's telling you need to buy and eat and travel. It's all about your definition, which is when you tell people, hey, I'm in control, they want to read the book, they want at least they're more interested in their money.
All right, well, the book is You're So Money, Farnoosh Torabi. I think a lot of people are talking about it, and you just heard what the media is saying about it. Thank you so much, Farnoosh,
Thank you, Jim.
letting me interview you.